Hi, my name's Michael Ashton and I work here on Alterian in the Professional Services Department, and today I'm going to run through how to dynamically vary content images using variables within Email Manager. So why change images using variables? So you might want to use variables to personalise emails with images of specific products that have been purchased for product reviews, for example, or images of products that would be of interest to a customer so that you can encourage them to purchase the items. You also might want to vary content in the email depending on a customer's account status, so whether they're a bronze, silver or gold member, for example. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Email Manager and take you through an example of how you might want to do this. So here I've got a simple email that's a confirmation of a sofa being delivered. Obviously all the products and order numbers and customer names are all going to be variable, but also the image of the sofa will also be set as a variable depending on what they've purchased. So here we've got the placeholder for the image. If I just go ahead and double click on that, we've got the image location set there, but we've also got a variable called sofa image. And if I look in the source view, we can see the image path and sofa image variable there. So if I now have a look in the overview within files, you see here I've got a couple of different sofas called sofa 1 and 2, and these are the images of the sofas that can be rendered for the email. In a more likely scenario, which I will go through in a minute, you might actually have all of your images hosted on your website and your content management system, and you might direct the images to that destination. But for this example, we've just got a couple of images here. So I'm now going to have a look in send a message, and we've got a sofa delivery slot here. So if I just open that up, so you've got the sofa image variable linked to a field called sofa image URL. So if I just actually have a look at what that looks like, in here we've got the list, and we've just got the image URL just saying sofa1.jpg, sofa2.jpg, and as I said, in a more likely scenario you might actually point this to a URL on your website or something like that. Okay, so if I go back to send a message, so this is pointing at that exact list that I just showed you, and if I just go next, display preview window, you'll see the content will change based on that variable. So that's a really simple example of how you might want to do that, and just to show you actually in the setup, you'll see that this particular one's pointing to the variable sofa2.jpg, and if I go to this one in the setup, that's pointing to sofa1.jpg. Okay, so that's a really simple example. Another example that might be truer to real life, if I open up this creative, so we've got exactly the same email here, but actually in this scenario we've got sofa image URL listed here, but actually if I go to the overview, the sofa image URL is actually referencing a lookup table. So we've got product ID, which would is the primary key of a lookup table. So you might actually have a spreadsheet containing all the details of certain products. So in this scenario, we've got a lookup table that actually looks like this. So we've got product ID 1, 2, and then we've got all the information of that product based on that ID. So having it in a table like this will make it easier to manage. You may have thousands or even hundreds of thousands of different products, so it may be easier to have it all the information contained with a within a lookup table like this. And importantly, we've got the image URL based there. So just to show you, I've got exactly the same within Email Manager here. Okay, so we've got product ID 1 and 2, and for the sofa image, I'm basically looking for product ID against the product lookup table. We're matching on product ID, and we're going to return the image URL. So that's how that would work. So if I now go into send a message, and we'll look at this one this time. We've just got product ID mapped in this scenario. It's actually, if I just go back to this list, we've got product ID 1 and 2 there, and that's the list that we're referencing. So product IDs mapped. The image URL, we've made it hidden to the user because it's automatically populated by that product ID. And if we display in the preview window, we see that the sofa is changing based on that product ID, based on the lookup. So if I see in setup here, the sofa image is referencing the product ID, and it's looking up the image URL from the lookup table. Okay, great. So I hope you found that useful. That's just a couple of really simple ways that you can use variables to dynamically change the content of an email. Great, thank you very much.